Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line, your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally you can relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed one, the exalted one, the fully enlightened one. So dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to give information to yourself and help you to develop a very good foundation for your own mental development through these meditation sessions. And especially in these meditation sessions, we have a structure. So first one, we start with the posture and then observing the sensation of inhalation, exhalation. And we take our own breathing as our primary mental object. And from there, we go to Vipassana level. So in the Vipassana level, there are 4 foundations: contemplating the body or contemplating the feeling, contemplating the mind, and contemplating phenomena. So when it comes to your own practice, it is very important to know the purpose of practice. The very purpose of this practice is giving very clear understanding regarding our own inner behavior. It's recognizing our inner self. Another way, self-realization. So when it comes to the meditation practice, it mainly tries to clear your mind in the very first level. So why we have to clear our mind? Because we sit here with a lot of past experience, which we call memory, and another way, habits. So because of that, whatever happened in the present moment, your own habits, your own thinking pattern, your own history, and your own past experience sometimes disturb you. Because of that, you miss the present moment of experience. So in the very first level, we have to develop a foundation to get into the very first level of tranquility state. So for that, you need the help out of your posture. So then in day-to-day life, if you are a newcomer or if you are a beginner, and if you have hard time with your meditation practice, give some extra time and start to develop the very good solid posture. And once you come to very solid posture, you will see It will help for your concentration or the awareness. And once you have the posture, from there, we take a primary mental object. So as primary mental object, we get our own inhalation, exhalation. It is 24/7 in front of you and it is free. And when you observe inhalation, exhalation, sometimes we cannot recognize it. Not only inhalation, exhalation, in day-to-day life. When things more closer, when things available for us, when things there for us, waiting for us, when things already within us, sometimes we don't see. That is our human nature. That is one of the very behavior of this conditional world. Very closer things, the very real things, and when things available for us, we don't see. Why? Because sometimes we like to have a dream state. We like to think ahead. So that is why sometimes we miss whatever in front of us. And not only our own inhalation, exhalation, not only our mind, in ordinary life, sometimes our own people, husband, wife, children, parents, brothers, sisters, neighbors, we don't recognize really who they are, or we have no capability to understand who they are. We see, of course, we see through our eyes, but seeing through our eyes sometimes not enough. So you have to develop an art to hear through your eyes, see through your ears, and feel through your nose, and smell through your tongue. It's a totally different way. And when it comes to mental clarity, awareness, that is what happened. All these five senses become open and it become limitless and it come out of boundaries. So in the conditional world, and we are so tangled and we are so very limited to our experience and our senses. So cultivation of the mind or the development of your mind in the very first level help you to settle down with the sensation. And once you come to that settlement and you develop undisturbed mind with the practice of tranquility meditation. Once you have undisturbed mind, you're going to see very clearly what you experience. That seeing means you go beyond the sensual level. And that is where you really experience the pure nature and the real moment, the very present moment happening right now, right here. So, and once you have that, and we go to the vipassana level. So the vipassana level means the very conditional world, samsara, is pondering your mind towards outside and always projecting, looking something far away, dreaming and looking to become bigger and better. But tranquility state allows you to settle down in the moment, within right now, right here. And the vipassana is more, it start to take you inward. And once you go inward, the very first thing you recognize, the behavior of your mind. So this behavior of your mind, understanding it is very important. Why? Because this all happening because of the mind. So while we are busy with these outside things, we neglect and we missing the recognition of the mind. So the vipassana is a way that in the very beginning, it start to show you the nature of the mind. So the mind is the best and the most important tool that we have. So when it comes to ordinary life, that you know, you can value this material world. Even you can value nowadays these physical organs. But out of this all, there is something that you cannot put value on, that is your mind. It is so expensive. Remember that. Out of all the wealth, asset that you have, the mind you have is so expensive. And it always there. It doesn't matter what you do, it always there. And then it has the ability to recognize things. And it has always ability to develop things as thoughts. So thoughts, nothing wrong with any thoughts. Sometimes we say good thoughts, bad thoughts. It is nothing wrong with the bad thoughts, or there's nothing special with the good thoughts. What you have to understand, having a thought about the thought is the dangerous thing. Because having thoughts, it's the very nature of your mind. That's the human nature. But ourselves, we have a difficulty when we have thoughts, and sometimes we clinging and we holding and we appreciate all the good thoughts, and at the same time sometimes when we have something negative, unprofitable thoughts, and we become worried about it. But we don't recognize these old thoughts. And once you understand it, if you're able to get out of thinking about thoughts, that is the most important. So the tranquility state help you to come to that level. Without reflecting on thoughts, you just recognize thoughts. That's it. Then once you come to that level, what will happen? You come to a very clear moment with the mind. Because you see thoughts happening, but you're not going to reflect on that thoughts. You recognize it, that recognition itself brings the solution to busy mind. And once you come to this level, it's kind of like you come to the peak of the mountain, top of the mountain. So on the top of the mountain, just imagine you go to the top of the mountain. Why people climb to the top of the mountain? Once you go there, the peak of the mountain, depending on the landscape and other mountains and the valleys. So like that, once you come to the clarity, once you come to the peak level of awareness, or the tranquility state, you're going to recognize that tranquility is your mind itself. Depending from this all the perception, the feeling, perception, forms, volitions, recognition, this all part of this experience. So once you come to that understanding, you're not going to clinging to yourself, or you're not going to resist anything. That awareness is important, and it is yourself you recognizing. So yourself, once you have that understanding, This all the result of your mind, and other everything what you experience is a part of your mind. So once you have that experience, it will help you to calm down yourself and relax your mind. So once you have that ability to calm down yourself, excuse me, you're going to recognize something else. So that is that everything has its own nature. So it's a very subtle function of the mind and body and this everything. Everything happen according to the way that it build inbuilt nature. So our body, our mind, all the perception and all the experience, the outside all the material things, this everything happens separately. But still, when the mind is not clear, when the mind is in the current of thinking, what happening, it gather everything and always experience as one. So this moment, if you look very carefully, look your computer, your cell phone or your TV happen completely different. And your chair and all other material things happening different way. And your body itself has different parts. But this all together, you bring it and then you experience, oh, I experienced this. Then if you able to separate this all, allow that everything to go its own way, what remain? There is nothing going to remain as a solid, permanent thing. But there is something, there is a current that called the cause and effect. Then according to necessary conditions and situations, environment, this everything can come together. And at the same time, once the condition disappear, the whatever appearance going to disappear. So as example, our body, we experience this body as mine, me. But each and every organ function different way. Just sometimes we say, my kidney failed. I need the kidney from somewhere. I want to transplant my kidney. And sometimes people transplant bone marrow. And sometimes people say, I need blood. So then another thing, and the people put teeth, and like that, even the eyes. So like that, people take different organs and put it to themselves transplant, even the heart. So that means if this all you, how something can fail? But it's still that other thing, one part of the body fail. So try to understand it. So that means it has a way to function separately itself. Otherwise, when it fails, the whole body should collapse. It doesn't happen that way. So if you get that simile and apply it to each and every atom, subparticles, particles in your body, you will see this each and everything function different way. But there is a way that, as example, that we experience this all together. There is a mechanism in our body that we feel this everything as one. That is where we come to the experience of self-experience. And the mind inside this and having a subtle functioning that all over the body, governing this physical body and keep the connection with the perception. So the mind is not appear beyond the body. Mind is inside your body. So, and at the same time, the perception that you perceive, whatever that experience happening in you, also not outside experience, it also inner experience. So if you don't recognize the very behavior and the very nature of the mind, you will never understand this. Then you can say it is as a many ways. You can mention it as a kind of like any. You can put a person, you can put energy, you can put a name, kind of like a power or anything. But once you recognize the behavior of the mind, then you understand what this is. But at the same time, even though on the surface level we talk like this and we verbalize our experience, but when you go deeper, deeper, deeper and observe, you're going to understand it in a totally different way. So it's like, rather than holding to something with your personal experience, come to you with your feelings, perception, thoughts, and little by little, like how you peel an onion. If you start to take out layer by layer, layer by layer, what will happen? You will recognize. In end of this all, there's nothing going to be remain as a solid something. But the process that onion can come and appear as something is always going to be in the world. It's going to be, it used to be in the past, it's going to be in the future. That is the very nature of the behavior of the world. You can name it as the God, or you can name it as the power, you can name it as the energy, you can name it as the creator. But what the Buddha said, that is cause and effect, causality. So this each and everything depend on according to its own nature, and at the same time it depending from something. So then when it come to our practice today, we're going to observe deeply, starting with our own inhalation, exhalation, and recognizing the sensation. So from there, we little by little, going to deeply observe, analyze that sensation and the experience and the perception and the perceiver, how this both happen. And so it is, you have to be free yourself. You should not bound to, you should not be a debtor to any technique or any methods or even your whole self, that the interest. Only thing is you have to be very clear with awareness. Without preconditioned mind, always remember what you see, what you recognize. You question yourself, is this real? Why? Because our mind is so powerful. It can play tricks. It can take us to illusion. There are some techniques. No, it can take you to physically, even the mentally, to experience something different. And sometimes people get addicted to that. So as example, you keep eye half close your eyes and you bring your attention to this tip of your nose and you start to keep looking this place, 45 angle, So keep you looking without blinking your eyes in a certain level, you start to feel like you get into kind of like, high, you drunk. And then it's kind of like you can caught up in the mental illusion. And then you take a deep breath and hold and slowly release through your mouth and you feel like you are cloud. So these are all the tricks that come out of the mind. But we're not going to caught up there like that. We're going to see what we experience, how clear it is for us and for yourself. So then remember, when you sit, you are your own master, you are your own teacher, you are responsible for your own mental behavior. You have to take that responsibility. And with that, you have to do your best to yourself. Don't cover up your practice. Don't cheat yourselves. Because sometimes even in an ordinary life, sometimes we become so worried about our life thinking, oh, I missed that opportunity. So don't allow this moment to miss that opportunity. So that's what you have to do. Just bring your attention to your own inhalation and exhalation, settle down there and see what you experience, how clear it is it truthful? And if the thoughts come, and don't go with it, don't think about thoughts, just keep attention to the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and then we'll see what you experience. So bring your attention to your body, please.